evening and welcome to this edition of the Evening News for today, Tuesday, May 14, 2023. I am Jemima Holmes. Thank you for tuning in. In the headlines this evening, over 3,000 migrants enrolled in local schools. Education Minister revised curriculum to include Spanish. Nigel Darlo questioned by police over new sexual assault allegations. Center for Border Studies must zero in on Guyana-Venezuela border analysis, says GREENIDGE. 13,000 to benefit from 11 billion in student loan write-off, says Finance Minister. Education Ministry issues warning letters to 9 contractors for failing to meet deadlines. And High Court tosses out BK challenge of quarry licenses granted to Nazar Mohammed. Now for the news in detail. Over 3,000 migrant children from countries like Venezuela and Trinidad and Tobago are currently enrolled in Guyana's school system. This was disclosed earlier today by Education Minister Priya Manikchand, who also indicated that the school curriculum would be revised to include Spanish. Trishal Sobers joins us with the details.
Majority of the migrant learners are enrolled in primary schools across the country, where they are benefiting from quality education, hot meals, and other forms of assistance being provided to Guyanese learners. This comes at a time when the People's Progressive Party civic government is forging ahead with plans to make Spanish a commonly used language in Guyana and by extension in schools. During a press conference on Tuesday, Education Minister Priya Manikchand underscored the importance of education in the modern world and explained that her ministry's policy of no child left behind applies to school-age migrant learners. In this regard, she explained that works are ongoing to better integrate them into the classroom.
For the first time last year, we did NGSA, and because we have such a high migrant population, we offered the students who speak or derived from a Spanish-speaking country, Cuba or Venezuela, the ability to write their papers in Spanish. So they could have read it in Spanish and written in English, read in Spanish, written in Spanish, read in English, written in English. They had a variety of options, and we actually saw the children doing a lot better when we offered that humane pathway.
Further, the Ministry of Education, through its Distance Learning Department and Literacy Unit at the National Center for Educational Research Development, NCERD, will be revising the primary and secondary school curriculum to include Spanish and improve literacy among learners. The first phase of this initiative will see the ministry equipping learners with certain Spanish resources in their independent book bags, including a Spanish dictionary and Spanish texts that are age appropriate. Meanwhile, the second phase will see teachers being trained to administer Spanish in schools through the provision of curated materials which will be produced by the ministry.
This same insert here, the productions unit, has created material that could be used by even non-Spanish speaking teachers to bring us to a place where we are could give basic Spanish instruction. So the intention of the president, which is to make us a bilingual country, is we're trying to meet that intention with the resources we have. Coursera, with who we have an engagement that was launched at the stadium, is designing courses for Spanish for all of our teachers. So all of our teachers are going to get training on the Coursera platform to deliver Spanish in their classrooms.
According to Minister Manikchand, the revised curriculum and other components of the project will be instituted in the new term come September. In 2023, President Dr. Irfan Ali announced that Spanish will become a mandatory subject in primary schools as part of the government's commitment to enhance education at all levels across the country. Trishal Sobers, Evening News.
Former local government and regional development minister Nigel DHARAMLALL has been taken into police custody and is being questioned in relation to new sexual assault allegations made against him by a young woman. Find out more in this report.
Nigel DHARAMLALL turned himself into custody at 9:20 on Tuesday at the Covent John police station in relation to sexual assault allegations made against him by a 28-year-old woman. According to the Ghana Police Force, the embattled former local government and regional development minister is being questioned by investigators. His lawyer, attorney Bernard De Silva, had accompanied DHARAMLALL to the station, and after several hours of of interrogation, the lawyer told reporters that his client is cooperating. At the time, he said it is unlikely that DHARAMLALL will be released.
He is cooperating with the police. I have had the privilege of turning him in. He just conducted an interview of which he denied all the allegations, and the police will have to take it from there. Bail cannot be decided upon at this stage, primarily because the OC doesn't have that jurisdiction to consider bail at this stage.
It falls within whose jurisdiction as a criminal lawyer?
In the upper echelons of the police force. Because of the nature and who the person is, it may demand more than just the OC crime here to decide on bail. I have full confidence in the police to do their work. I do not want to interfere, and therefore I would not want to remain with him. I've given him instructions, and he's matured enough to follow my instructions.
Your two lawyers are leaving as well?
Right now?
My two juniors are there just as formalities, not to interfere with the process. He was interviewed uninterrupted. There are certain procedures that the police has to enforce. He has to pass through the records, he has to be booked, those type of things. So the police are still doing that. But as far as the interview is concerned, which is my concern, that is over, and he's now being passed through or what they call processed.
During a virtual press conference on Friday, the 28-year-old victim who topped Guyana at the CSEC exams several years ago detailed two separate incidents when she was sexually molested by the former minister in September 2020 at State House in Anna Regina, and then again in 2021 at the suspect's residence in Commons Lodge. However, hours after the accusation surfaced, the former government official issued a statement vehemently refuting the claims made against him. DHARAMLALL said he had rebuffed advances by the young woman, after which her demeanor fundamentally changed towards him. He believes that the woman is on a campaign to malign and tarnish his reputation. DHARAMLALL, who is a current executive of the ruling People's Progressive Party Civic, had resigned in July 2023 following rape allegations leveled against him by a 16-year-old girl, but the matter was subsequently withdrawn. Lawanda McAllister for the Evening News.
With the launch of a Center for International and Border Studies, Government's advisor on borders, GREENIDGE, is of the view that one of the primary challenges the center would first face is analyzing issues related to the ongoing Guyana-Venezuela border controversy. Details in this Gerald Bryan report.
The launch of the Center for International and Border Studies, CIBS, took place on Monday at the Herdmanston Lodge. The center, an independent think tank, is the product of collaboration between academics from the Caribbean, Latin America, the United States, Asia, and Africa. In his feature address to the attendees, Government's Advisor on Borders, GREENIDGE, recalled that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs was mandated since 2017 to establish a border institute. He lauded the fact that a project similar to that one could finally be completed, and was optimistic that the center would, among other things, ignite wider interest in border studies.
In 2017, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs was mandated to start doing some work on a border institute. I don't even think I mentioned it to Dr. Curtin. That work wasn't completed. But I make the point to emphasize that this isn't a unique path that you are taking by way of the Center for International Border Studies. You've gone further than occurred in 2017, and you're to be commended for this. One looks forward to you mobilizing not only the skills to help you and the data to help you undertake the analysis that you would like to, but in ensuring that an interest in the community and a commitment by governments and institutions can be maintained in these issues that have to do with systematic border management.
When it comes to the Guyana-Venezuela border controversy, GREENIDGE was of the view that analyzing issues related to it may form one of the center's early challenges.
Currently, you have issues in relation to Venezuela. Part of the challenge, I think, that our center will face is to help to explore issues that may arise from the management of the tensions that arise from contested space.
Meanwhile, Director for the Center, Dr. Mark Curtin, spoke about what persons can expect from the Center. He made it clear that the Center's work would be heavily evidence-based.
The Center for International and Border Studies is aimed at undertaking, as I mentioned, rigorous evidence-based research on issues that we think which will be important both in terms of development effort and also security and other issues that will be mentioned. So we see regional integration as a critical issue. We see the issue of using a multidisciplinary focus. And we're going to place that focus on issues such as contested borders in the hemisphere, the issue of border security, the development trajectory of the Amazon and the Guyana Shield.
Plans for the Center include offering mentorship to students and establishment of both an online and physical library dedicated to border studies. Jarrell Bryan, The Evening News.
The People's Progressive Party Civic Government has announced the commencement of Phase 1 of a student loan write-off program, as was outlined during the 2024 budget presentation and was also part of the party's 2020 manifesto. During a live broadcast on Monday, Finance Minister Dr. Ashwini Singh detailed the parameters of the initiative, which would see the write-off of all loans owed by Guyanese who are able to demonstrate that they have completed their course of study and have graduated. Moreover, beneficiaries would also have to show that, subsequent to graduation, they were employed or had employed themselves in Guyana for a minimum of 3 years. According to the Finance Minister, this move is geared at ensuring that all Guyanese benefit from equal access to education, as well as to reliefs from the government, unlike what had obtained during the previous APNU-AFC regime. Let's have a look.
We are moving now to write off all loans owed by Guyanese who are able to demonstrate that they completed their course of study and graduated, and subsequent to graduation were employed or self-employed in Guyana for a minimum of 3 years, as evidenced by a minimum of 156 contributions made to the National Insurance Scheme. This is specifically intended to acknowledge as the first priority the contributions made by persons who utilized their education to contribute in one way or another through employed or self-employed economic activities towards the development of our country. This first phase, subject to the number of persons who provide the required evidence, could potentially benefit over 13,000 Guyanese who have $11 billion in student loan debt. President Ali's One Guyana vision seeks to create a society where all Guyanese, irrespective of where they live, their ethnic or religious background, their political affiliation or gender or other orientation, have the opportunity to lead productive and happy lives. It aims to achieve this by reducing inequality in access to education, health and other social services, employment and income, and security and justice. It would be recalled that after 2015, the APNU-AFC administration had proposed the introduction of travel bans, where students' information would be put at all immigration points and desks established to bar students with outstanding loans from traveling. This rendered fear in scores of students across the country. In keeping with our One Guyana vision and in line with our party's people-centered approach to development, and our manifesto, government remains committed to providing free tertiary education to Guyanese by 2025. In the coming days, we will publish how persons can access this immediate Phase 1 of the Student Write-Off Program, in keeping with the announcement that I've just made on behalf of President Irfan Ali and the People's Progressive Party Civic Government.
The Education Ministry has issued warning letters to at least 9 contractors for breaching their stipulated contractual deadlines, as well as for producing substandard works. This was revealed by Subject Minister Priya Manik-Chand while providing an update on infrastructural works being undertaken by her ministry. Here is Trishelle Sobers again with more.
The Ministry of Education is currently building and rehabilitating numerous facilities across the country. And according to Minister Priya Manik-Chand, the issue of faulty works and delayed project timelines are vast, and as a result, herself, along with a technical team from the ministry, has been meeting with contractors and consultants once or twice a month to ensure that projects are on track. On this point, she disclosed that government will pursue liquidated damages from contractors for the delays suffered in the execution of contracts.
We are starting and hope to finish more than 30 secondary schools across this country in under 5 years. And we haven't changed out contractors, and we haven't changed out what had become a culture. So yes, we are suffering from people who are crossing over timelines and contractors I'm talking about. And it is a challenge. But the question for us as a country is, do we just throw up our hands, or do we insist on a change of culture amongst contractors? And I hope that's what across the sectors we're trying to do.
Further, one question about breaking projects into lots to allow for works to be conducted simultaneously, Minister Manik-Chand pointed out that government has explored this option already and is still experiencing delays. For example, in June 2023, some 6 contracts to the tune of $688 million was awarded for the reconstruction of the Christchurch Secondary School, while another 6 contracts valued at $253.8 million was awarded for the rebuilding of the St. George's Secondary School. Both projects carried a deadline of approximately 7 months and are behind schedule. According to Minister Manik-Chand, St. George's Secondary School is about 75% complete, while Christchurch Secondary is 35% complete.
Sometimes what happens is, because some of it is prefab, off-site, you could change from 35 to 80% in a week because you brought your prefab stuff and put it up. I'm not sure what is remaining, so I want to be careful with saying it can't finish for thing. But I'm happy the contractors are seeing that the wider public is interested in how they perform and is insisting that they perform according to contract.
It was disclosed that the ministry is hoping to have the facilities commissioned for the new school term come September. Trishelle Sobers, Evening News.
Coming up on the other side of the break, High Court tosses out BK challenge of quarry licenses granted to Nazar Mohammed and $963 million in contracts signed to upgrade police stations across Guyana. Do stay with us. More news ahead.
What flavors does Oreo have around the world?
Oreo peanut butter.
Let me see. Oreo cajeta.
Here comes Oreo around the world, the promo that takes you on a family trip to taste the Oreo flavors available in Paris, New York, Mexico, or Rome. Register your packages at oreopromo.com.
ExxonMobil and the ExxonMobil Foundation have invested nearly $6 billion in communities across the country. And we're just getting started. From STEM education and youth sports programs to workforce training and community development projects, we're committed to making sure the benefits of Guyana's growing oil and gas industry reach as many Guyanese as possible. What can we do for your community? Learn more at exxonmobil.com/Guyana.
2 day and night facilities will be constructed in regions 2 and 4 to provide a safe space for the children of working parents. Monies will also be spent to rehabilitate and improve the facilities at the Sophia Care Center and Mahaika Children's Home. This $287 million investment is part of the 2024 national budget, which is supported by revenues earned from oil production.
Dad! Dad!
Is that real?
आप लोगों को नजर आ रहे हैं?
Well hit. Away it goes. That is a ridiculous one. Look at this.
Looking to bring your dream home to reality? Or simply taking on a home improvement project? Then National Hardware Limited is where you should start. Let us put that touch to your home. Choose from over 1,000 Berger Paint original hues for any surface. We are known for our trusted brands such as Westinghouse, Philips, Sadco, Rubbermaid, Pyrex, Gibson Home, and so much more. National Hardware Limited, your do-it-best store. Located in downtown Georgetown and industrial site Rhymeville.
What flavors does Oreo have around the world?
Oreo peanut butter.
Let me see. Oreo cajeta.
Here comes Oreo around the world, the promo that takes you on a family trip to taste the Oreo flavors available in Paris, New York, Mexico, or Rome. Register your packages at oreopromo.com.
Welcome back. You're watching the evening news. An application made by BK Quarries Incorporated challenging the quarry licenses granted to Hades World, a company owned by prominent businessman Nazar Shel Mohammed, has been tossed out by the High Court on the ground that it failed to make a compelling case for judicial review. Here is Darlo with the details.
The legal challenge to Hades World's 4 quarry licenses was first filed by BK Quarries Inc., owned by businessman Brian Tawari, back in 2021. BK had named Hades World, the Environmental Protection Agency (EPA), and the Guyana Geology and Mines Commission (GGMC) in its legal proceedings filed on the grounds that BK's own application for a quarry license was being blocked. In his May 13th ruling, however, Justice Gino Posad had found that BK failed to prove its grounds for the challenge or whether any breach to the law had occurred. Moreover, the judge ruled that the decisions of the EPA and GGMC were not unlawful, unfair, unreasonable, arbitrary, or a breach of natural justice. As such, BK was ordered to pay sums of $500,000 each to GGMC, EPA, and Hades World, all within 6 weeks. In comments after the ruling, Hades World's owner, Nazir Shel Mohammed, hailed the triumph of justice in the case. According to him, they have already invested heavily in the quarry. As such, he was pleased and relieved with the judgment. Jarrell Bryan, The Evening News.
The Home Affairs Ministry has signed some $963 million in contracts to upgrade police stations across the country, in keeping with the Guyana government's commitment to modernize law enforcement infrastructure across the country. In this report, you will hear that the 9 contractors have been told that quality and timely delivery are top priorities. Lawan McAllister reports.
Permanent Secretary at the Home Affairs Ministry, Lady Arya Ali, signed 9 contracts to the tune of $963,829,709 for the upgrade of police stations and other infrastructure within the Guyana Police Force. Home Affairs Minister Robertson Ben witnessed the signing at his ministry's boardroom on Monday and stressed the importance of completing projects within budget, on time, and with high quality and safety standards, urging contractors to adhere strictly to project guidelines. The minister told the contractors, and I quote, "All projects should be completed at or within budget. There should not be any surprises. We've noticed some issues with the time and the quality, which seem to stem from a lack of attention to the contract's distinct terms and conditions. It's crucial that we all, as a team, understand and adhere to these conditions for successful project delivery," end quote. Ben added, and I quote, "Quality and timely delivery within budget is of utmost importance. Safety is especially important. We don't want people injured on your projects. There's money in these contracts to outfit your people with safety wear, helmets, safety boots, gloves, etc. And we want them to have those. We encourage you to pay attention to engineering contract management. You need to pay attention to your technicians, engineer, and employees to get the job done in the way it's meant to be done in the contracts," end quote. Similar sentiments were expressed by P.S. Ali, who informed the contractors that a full team of engineers from the ministry will be supervising these projects. The contract signed will see the reconstruction and upgrading of the Oriela, the Downstel, North Rheinveld, Mahika, Bedford-Wachting, and Imbatero police stations. They're also building wharves and boathouses in Mabaruma and Morawana, and upgrading a highway patrol base to a full police station. Lawanda McAllister for the Evening News.
First Lady Arya Ali has hosted a candlelight vigil in honor of Palestinian mothers who have faced and continue to face numerous challenges as a result of the ongoing war in Gaza. Here is Michael Henry again with the details.
In recognition of the Palestinian mothers enduring the devastating impact of war in Palestine, First Lady Arya Ali hosted a candlelight vigil on Saturday evening to honor those who have lost their lives and those who are struggling to survive the ongoing battle. In commemoration with Mother's Day, the First Lady during her remarks encouraged Guyanese citizens to stand in solidarity for Palestinian mothers.
Together, let us continue to stand in solidarity with the mothers of Gaza and all those who continue to suffer in conflict zones around the world. Let us also remember them in our prayers.
Further acknowledging the plight of mothers in those regions, Mistress Ali expressed sympathy, stating that she cannot imagine the unbearable pain they endure when the war affects their children.
I'm a mother of 2 young boys, and I cannot fathom the thought of them being harmed, much less losing them. It is incredibly painful and disturbing to even think about, much less having to live through it, as thousands of mothers and fathers are in Gaza. The relentless airstrikes, bombing, and military aggression by Israel have turned homes into rubble, taken innocent lives, and left families torn apart. In the face of the unimaginable adversity, the people of Gaza refuses to be broken. They cling to hope with a fierceness that is both awe-inspiring and heartbreaking. Mothers cradle their children close, whispering words of love and comfort in the midst of chaos.
Palestinian health authorities say Israel's ground and air campaign in Gaza has killed more than 35,000 people, mostly civilians, including 9,000 women and more than 14,000 children, with most of the enclave's 2.3 million people driven from their homes. Michael Henry, The Evening News.
And now for a look at the bridge reports.
There will be no retraction of the Demara Harbor Bridge for Wednesday, May 15, 2024. However, the The Berbice River Bridge is expected to be closed at 9 hours 20 on Wednesday, May 15, 2024 for a period of 1.5 hours.
And now the local stock exchange market compliments of Gassi. Soka Warriors edge Golden Jaguars 2-1 in friendly, and Demara Pitbulls clinch title of inaugural Guyana T10 Blast. This and more coming up in the Sportcast, sponsored by Maccorp.
What flavors does Oreo have around the world?
Oreo peanut butter.
Let me see. Oreo cajeta.
Here comes Oreo around the world, the promo that takes you on a family trip to taste the Oreo flavors available in Paris, New York, Mexico, or Rome. Register your packages at oreopromo.com.
Dad! Dad!
Is that real?
आप लोगों को नजर आ रहा है?
Well hit. Away it goes. That is a ridiculous. Look at this.
Miners, welders, and contractors. Have broken parts caused you tremendous downtime? Do you need an extra heavy-duty, dependable welding machine that will get the toughest jobs done and can also double as a generator to power all of your tools? Well, your #1 industrial solutions provider Sylvies has you covered. We currently have in stock the Hobart Champion Elite Arc Welder and Generator. This capable electric start generator produces up to 11,000 watts of AC power to run tools, work lights, or backup power during an outage. It can simultaneously deliver 150 amps weld output and 8,000 watts of generator power and can run up to 14 hours on one 12-gallon tank of gas. This portable generator handles mild steel, stainless steel, and cast iron with a maximum thickness of ½ inch in a single pass. So what are you waiting for? If you can't make it our 31 High and Hatfield Streets Georgetown location, we can deliver. Give us a call on 227-6226 or WhatsApp us on 623-7755 or visit our website sylviesonline.com. Sylvies Industrial Solution, proudly serving Guyana for over 4 decades.
Did you know that Gassi's Jet A1 fuel is a type of aviation fuel specially formulated for turbine engines? Jet A1 fuel is safer to handle and transport than any other fuel types due to its high flash point and low volatility. It also boasts a high energy content, enhancing aircraft performance and efficiency. So whether traveling for business or pleasure, choose Guyana's Jet A1 fuel for a safe, reliable, and efficient flight.
What flavors does Oreo have around the world?
Oreo peanut butter.
Let me see. Oreo cajeta.
Here comes Oreo around the world, the promo that takes you on a family trip to taste the Oreo flavors available in Paris, New York, Mexico, or Rome. Register your packages at oreopromo.com.